sea is a mysterious place. Civilization has mapped out more of outer space than the bottom of our oceans. It's no surprise that strange objects occasionally wash up on our beaches and shores. From unidentified whale species to enormous squids, here are 20 mysterious creatures washed up on the beach. Number 20. Mysterious creature in Texas. After Hurricane Harvey, a woman discovered a faceless creature on a Texas beach. She asked the internet what it was, which led to many ideas and a lot of horror at the sight of the terrifying-looking beast. The enigmatic creature was discovered on the sand near Galveston on September 6 by Preeti Desai, a social media manager for the National Audubon Society. According to the Washington Post, Desai was in the Lone Star State inspecting the damage after Harvey swept through the area. Thoughts that were noticeably more grounded than the otherworldly reactions suggested that the creature was some sort of eel. One commenter claimed that a scientist from San Diego's own Scripps Institution of Oceanography came up with the solution. Thanks to the remaining skin coloration, the body and head shape, the teeth, and the shape of the jaw, the monster was recognized as a fangtooth snake eel by Ben Freebell, an ichthyologist who oversees the fish collection at the renowned institution. It is also known as a tusky eel, or as Aplotophis calliotis, which translates to, not surprisingly, terrible serpent. According to Dr. Kenneth Teague of the Smithsonian National Museum of History, fangtooth snake eels can be found in the waters from the Gulf of Mexico to French Guiana at depths of up to 300 feet. He said that it was difficult to determine the species of fish without properly seeing the creature's tail tip, whether it was a Bathycongrus vicinus or Xenomistax congroides. Now it's time for today's topic. This couple was walking down the beach enjoying their honeymoon when the wife, Laura, saw something far away. Even though they were headed that way, it really didn't occur to her that it would be something strange. Laura felt it was a rock or something normal, so she didn't bother stressing her fiancé about it. They were headed that way, so she thought when she got there, she would get a clearer picture. They moved a bit closer, and the atmosphere suddenly changed. Hare was the first to see it, a really huge corpse of a squid, or at least it looked like one. Laura was terrified. They were strangers there, so they really didn't know what to do, but Hare, being the man, asked people around to check and see who they could call. They eventually called the cops and left the place. It was an extremely terrifying experience, and an awful one at that for the new couple, so much so that they even had to leave the following day. What do you think about this? Drop your views in the comments section below. Remember also to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. Number 19. Lake Monster in Georgia. Apparently, odd creatures' decomposing bones were discovered on a beach at the Wolf Island National Wildlife Refuge in southeast Georgia, according to local media. According to reports, Jeff Warren forwarded pictures of the remains to many Georgian media outlets, where they soon attracted notice. The opinions of marine specialists who have seen the image range from the creature being most likely some kind of decaying fish to being a complete fabrication. They assert that it is probably difficult to ascertain the creature's origins without actual samples to examine. It resembles a frilled shark from deep water, while Chantal Audra from the Tybee Island Marine Science Center told the Savannah Morning News, "I don't see gill slits, but that's just supposition because we haven't looked at the body. It wouldn't be the first time a fish's body has behaved strangely while it was decaying." A hairy blob that washed ashore on a Philippine beach in February of 2017 caused quite a stir. The remnants of a deceased whale were identified, even though it was practically impossible to tell that it was one since its muscular fibers had started to tear and seemed hairy. The Altamahaha, a local mythology, adds to the suspicion. A common element of Georgian folklore is the Loch Ness-like monster, and the beached specimen resembles depictions of the monster by painters. Number 18. A grizzly carcass. On a New Zealand beach, the decomposing remains of what appeared to be a mystery sea monster were discovered. The carcass's half-buried head, complete with jagged teeth and open jaws, can be seen in a YouTube video taken on Pukehina Beach by Elizabeth and the majority of the creature's remaining body is gone after storms last month. A weird 30-foot-long cadaver washed up off the New Zealand coast of the Bay of Plenty. While tabloid The Sun suggested the beast from the deep might be a killer whale, a saltwater crocodile, giant moray eel, some sort of dolphin, or something more prehistoric, the Telegraph claimed that expert judgment said it was most likely a killer whale. However, these judgments failed to dispel the sea monster notion. According to the international science publication Nature World News, critters that wash up on the shore are frequently extremely decayed and resemble no other known animals. From Auckland, the shoreline is located roughly 120 miles to the southeast. A large moray eel, dolphin, saltwater crocodile, or a dinosaur have all been proposed as possible candidates for the monster. The creature's fin structure is comparable to that of a killer whale, according to marine mammal specialist Anton van Helden, who dismissed all of these theories. In and around Fiji and the Bay of Plenty, killer whales are frequent. Number 17. Alien-like creature. Locals are baffled by a weird marine monster that washed up on Bondi Beach, and few can agree on what it is. Surprising beachgoers on Sydney's well-known beach, they came across the strange alien-like animal among the beach trash. When they came upon the bloated animal with human-like lips, Drew Lambert and a companion were walking together. The animal's curled tail and organ swelling gave it an enormous appearance after it had washed ashore. According to the majority of residents, who thought it was a bloated stingray, one commenter remarked, "It's Bondi. Even the rays have Botox. It's an Australian numbfish," a clever user said. "When touched, they discharge electricity." Letitia Hannon, the supervisor of Sea Life Sydney Aquarium, confirmed that the creature was a numbfish or coffin ray. According to Miss Hannon, the elasmobranch known as the numbfish is known to bite off more than it can chew and may have consumed an object that was too large for it, which may have led to its engorged size. She also stated that the reason for the animal's appearance of being bloated was the decomposition process, which causes gas to fill animals. Number 16. Rare Hoodwinker Sunfish. It has been determined that a 7-foot marine creature that washed up on Southern California shores is a Hoodwinker sunfish, a recently discovered uncommon species that was previously believed to only exist in the Southern Hemisphere. The stranded fish was discovered last week at Sands Beach in the university's Coal Oil Point Natural Reserve, according to the University of California, Santa Barbara. Jessica Nielsen, a conservationist at Coal Oil Point, was informed by the intern, and at first, she believed it to be a particular species of local sunfish. Jessica then posted pictures on the reserve's Facebook page. Thomas Turner, an associate professor in the UCSB Department of Ecology, Evolution, and Marine Biology, noticed it and inspected the fish before taking pictures and uploading them to the online community iNaturalist. Marion Nygaard of Murdoch University in Australia noticed this, and in 2017, officially named the species Molotecta. However, she gave it the nickname Hoodwinker because it managed to elude scientific detection. When discussing the photos with ichthyologist Ralph Foster of the South Australian Museum, Nygaard informed UCSB through email that she was hesitant to identify the fish as a hoodwinker since the pictures didn't clearly reveal distinguishing traits, and because it had appeared so far outside of its known distribution. California received detailed directions from Nygaard on what to photograph and how to collect tissue samples. Number 15. Penis fish wash up on a beach. Fat innkeeper worms, or Eurychus caupo, are the pulsating organisms. The bulbous worms live their entire lives underground in U-shaped burrows dug beneath the slick sand along the California coast. The innkeeper worm, sometimes known as a penis fish by biologists and amateurs due to its phallic form, got its name because it peacefully temporarily housed smaller animals in its burrows. The worms are usually burrowed deep into the sand, but recent storms uprooted them, and Drake's Beach, located approximately 50 miles north of San Francisco, is now covered in the creatures. The creatures will create several foot-long U-shaped burrows within a beach. Their more polite nickname, innkeeper worm, comes from their subterranean lifestyle and the tunnels they create for other animals as they burrow underground. Several other species, including fish, sharks, and otters, feast on the penis fish, and it's considered food for humans as well. Eurychus unicinctus, the species found in East Asia, is a delicacy in countries including South Korea. The hardy worms are ancient, with the oldest known worm discovered being 25 years old. Their burrows date back about 300 million years. However, it was noted that the innkeeper worms are challenging to count because they spend much of their time underground. As long as the worms exist, it's likely that the effects of strandings on their populations won't be known. Number 14. Giant sea monster. Scientists have determined the identity of the creature that was found on an Indonesian beach last week and confused locals. Experts have determined that a mysterious rotting body that washed up on an Indonesian beach last week once belonged to a whale. The 50-foot creature was found on Seram Island's northern shore last Tuesday by fisherman Asro Tuanakota, who thought it might be a huge squid because of its appearance of being wrapped in tentacles. But on Monday, George Leonard, the head scientist at the Ocean Conservancy, and Alexander Worth, a whale biologist at Virginia's Hampton-Sydney College, declared that it was probably a baleen whale. The two said that evidence supporting their claims included bones sticking out of the mound of decomposing flesh and what seemed to be feeding plates from the animal's mouth, used to filter food. According to UPI, Seram Island is also adjacent to a baleen whale migration corridor. The tentacles are most likely comprised of fatty blubber that scavenging animals, most likely sharks, tore into strips. After dying, whale carcasses usually sink to the bottom of the water, but in some conditions, the body's gas-filled decomposition process might cause it to float. The body may then drift ashore in such circumstances, as appears to have happened in Indonesia. Number 13. Horned Sea Monster. According to Grind TV, the 4-meter-long creature, with what looked to be horns, was discovered dead on Luis Suret Beach in Vilaricos, Spain, causing residents to wonder if they had seen a legendary sea monster from the depths. The remainder was recovered with our assistance, according to Maria Sanchez of Cueva Civil Protection. A lady found one and we helped her retrieve the rest, she said. We don't know what it was. It was extremely foul. Experts and locals are having difficulty identifying the bones, with theories ranging from an oarfish to a sea monster, or dinosaur, to a relative of the Loch Ness Monster. It turns out that the riddle of the horned sea monster that washed ashore in Spain and sparked a lot of rumors about its identity hasn't been solved. Among those attempting to identify the bizarre marine creature that washed up on Luis Suret Beach in Vilaricos, Spain, last week, oarfish was a common bet. It was said that the 4-meter-long creature, with what looked to be horns, was discovered dead on Luis Suret Beach in Vilaricos, Spain, causing residents to wonder if they had seen a legendary sea monster from the depths. Number 12. Furry Sea Creature. The mysterious sea monster seen on Sakhalin Island in the Russian Far East, and featured this week by the Siberian Times, may never be fully understood because it washed back out to sea during a storm. Although it was impossible to measure, the body was roughly 2 meters long and ended in a tail that was between 3 and 5 meters long. The unnamed species, which was initially thought to be nearly twice the size of a human and had a large nose like a bird's beak, was too badly damaged for scientists to examine. The fact that it had fur on its tail and was unlike anything ever seen in Russia was the most intriguing of all. The Primorsky Oceanarium's Vadim Surkov, the deputy director for research, concurred with those conclusions and added, most likely, it is a large animal from the family of beaked dolphins. Giant beaked whales are the biggest. These are quite uncommon along the shore since they are rare and live in the depths. The fur was even disregarded as nothing more than bristle by Sergei Kornov, a fellow at the Kamchatka Research Institute of Fisheries and Oceanography. A deceased animal that spends a lot of time in the water is impacted by predators and bacteria, he claimed. It's a hostile environment. Delicate tissue can be removed, and while it appears to be bristle, it's actually not fur or hair. There are different species of dolphins in the world, with the orca, more generally known as the killer whale, growing to a maximum length of 10 meters. Number 11. Blue Dragon. Beachgoers in Australia are being cautioned about a water creature that is attractive to look at but might sting them painfully. Numerous blue dragons, also known as Glaucus atlanticus, have been found this month washing up on beaches in Queensland and New South Wales, prompting an ocean expert to warn beachgoers about the dangers the brightly colored sea slugs can present. According to specialists, most beachgoers do not notice the blue dragons until they have washed upon the shore. However, due to how painful their stings can be, swimmers may detect their presence in the water. David Hicks, Dean of the University of Texas School of Earth, Environmental and Marine Sciences, explained that this is because the animal feeds on species like the venomous Portuguese man-of-war and stores the stinging cells of its prey, known as kinetocytes, in sacs. These vibrant sea slugs live in the tropical waters of the Pacific and Indian Oceans. The species is mostly found in Australia, along the southeast coast of the country, from southern Queensland to northern Victoria, according to records from Australian Geographic. Number 10. Nessie Skeleton. Perhaps our readers can throw some light on the mystery of the enormous skeleton that washed up on a beach following Storm Sierra at the beginning of this week. The bones were discovered decomposing on a beach, leaving people perplexed. The enormous cadaver, which resembles a creature from the prehistoric era, was discovered on a beach close to Aberdeen and has generated a lot of discussion. More than 2,000 individuals participated in our survey to express their opinions about what they thought it was. Of those who voted, 44% thought it was a publicity stunt, 41% thought it was a whale, 8% thought it was Nessie, and 7% thought it was a dinosaur. On his Facebook page, Fubar News posted the photograph and posed the question, does anyone know what creature the remains may be from? Many commenters offered their theories on the identity of the enigmatic animal. Some said it was a whale, orca, or dolphin. Number 9. Unknown whale species. This situation began with a strange creature, but this one was a 7.3-meter-long corpse. In June 2014, the remains floated ashore in St. George, a little settlement of rock and grass in the Bering Sea off the coast of Alaska. On a bleak windswept beach, a teenage biology instructor discovered the cadaver partially buried in the sand. He informed an ex-researcher on fur seals, who initially assumed that she was aware of what they had discovered. A barred-speaked whale, a big gray deep-diving animal that occasionally washes up with the tide. However, a closer look subsequently revealed that the flesh was excessively dark and the dorsal fin was too large and flabby. Although the animal was too small to be an adult, its teeth had become worn and discolored over time. Finding a new species of whale is uncommon. In the past 15 years, advances in DNA research have allowed scientists to identify 5 new cetaceans. However, 2 of them were dolphins, and the majority were straightforward category splits between quite similar species. This member of the Berardius genus has a very distinct appearance from its closest living relative and lives in a region of the North Pacific where marine mammal research has been done for many years. Number 8. A mermaid. Footage of what is allegedly a dead mermaid that washed ashore in Great Yarmouth has been made public. The pictures seem to depict a dead humanoid creature with a fishtail lying on the sand next to the chilly North Sea. The mermaid appears to have lost an arm, and its middle is rotting away, but the head and tail are still largely intact. The pictures have been reposted over 20,000 times and have garnered a lot of interest from users who are trying to identify the species. There might, however, be a more straightforward reason, given that Mr. Joan appears to be an avid modeler with a penchant for making spooky figures. According to his Facebook account, he belongs to the Horror and Halloween DIY Club. The group earlier this month shared a video of a workshop with the title, "Just a Quick Look of the Man Cave," complete with a secret work-in-progress mermaid and Reggie Cray's handwritten notes. Number 7. East River Monster. A terrifying mystery creature with a damaged face, a snarling nose, and 5 toes on each foot has confused New Yorkers and been dubbed the Manhattan Monster. Denise Ginley, an amateur photographer, captured the eerie pink carcass on Sunday while strolling along the East River. The gory images, which were first published by The Gothamist on Monday, have sparked a variety of conspiracy theories about what the object might be, including whether it is a giant waterlogged rodent, a cooked pig too large to fit a family inside a balloon dog, or something else more sinister. According to Miss Ginley, the Parks Department was probably very quick to identify it as a pig and dispose of it, but it most definitely is not a pig. The species has 5 closely spaced digits rather than a cloven hoof, which is the most evident feature. The Parks Administration resisted being questioned until New York Magazine's blog Daily Intel, which gave the mutated carcass the nickname Wilbur, did so. Professor and animal expert Dr. Paul Curtis of Cornell University speculates that it might even be a little dog that swelled up while it decomposed in the river. He explained the horrific creature's gleaming skin to the Gothamist by saying that all the hair had slipped off the carcass. Others assert that it may be connected to the enigmatic Monto Monster, which baffled New Yorkers when it washed up near Ditch Plains Beach in July 2008. Number 6. Rare deep-sea Pacific football fish. At California's Torrey Pines State Beach, a guy recently made a startling discovery. On November 13th, Jay Baylor thought he spotted a jellyfish washed ashore at the San Diego beach. Baylor learned the creature was a rare Pacific football fish with a threatening aspect as he drew closer to it, according to KTRK-TV. At first I thought it was a jellyfish or something, but I went and took a closer look, and some other people were gathered around it too. Then I saw that it was this very unusual fish, the speaker recalled. The mouth nearly appeared bloody. It's the stuff of nightmares, according to Baylor, who spoke to KTRK-TV. I'd say it was nearly a foot long. The Pacific football fish is one of more than 300 surviving species of anglerfish, a deep-sea fish, according to the California Academy of Sciences. Given that Pacific football fish inhabit 2,000 to 3,300 feet down in the water where there's no sunshine, it's unclear how the fish washed up on land. More details on the rare fish that was recently spotted at Black's Beach are being made public by local biologists. The fish generally lives thousands of feet beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean, and researchers are unsure of how or why it made its way to land. Number 5. Mysterious hairy blob. Pictures of a large white creature that resembled a monster that washed ashore in the Philippines have gone viral on social media in Cagdanod, Dinagat Islands. Amazed people can be spotted taking selfies near the mysterious marine monster. After a catastrophic earthquake last week, some odd sea creatures have begun washing up on the islands. It raised the possibility that underwater life may predict or catch early shocks. In one example, a huge white beast appeared on the shore, appearing to be bleeding. Some have hypothesized that it is a big whale's corpse. It comes after many reports of the generally elusive oarfish, a deep-sea creature in the Philippines. Several of the 30-foot-long serpent-like fish were discovered by locals on Mindanao's northern coast in the days after a 6.7 earthquake that left 120 people injured and 6 dead. It's the most peculiar maritime discovery in recent weeks. Number 4. Monto Monster. In July 2008, a strange animal called the Monto Monster showed up on a beach close to the commercial area of Montauk, New York. Controversy and conjecture have surrounded the creature's identity, as well as the truthfulness of the legends that surrounded it. In the end, specialists determined that the corpse belonged to a raccoon that had been submerged in water. The varmint burner reportedly told Newsday that the celebration took place on Shell Beach on Shelter Island's southwest side, when they sent the raccoon on its way to its doom. The accompanying map shows that in order for the raccoon to eventually reach Montauk, it would need to either make its way north through a similarly narrow and longer channel, the Yellow Line, or wind its way to the east through a narrow channel and around the southern tip of Shelter Island, the Red Line. Then it would have to jog either north of Gardner's Island, the Green Line, or south again, the Red Line, and make a U-turn around the tip of Montauk to get to Ditch Plains Beach by July 12th, which is 2 weeks after the burial. Number 3. Rare giant squid. According to a source, a giant squid was found up on a South African beach earlier this month. The deep-sea creature, which measured 13.7 feet long, was found abandoned on a beach in Britannia Bay in southwest South Africa on June 7th. Beachgoers found the creature and informed authorities. Scientists from the South African Iziko Museums got the enormous squid specimen ready for freezing, according to a statement from the museum. The squid is being kept safe in the walk-in freezer until COVID-19 limitations are lifted, and it can be relocated to a permanent place. According to Gago, scientists don't know yet how the squid perished. The species was taken out and brought to Cape Town, where it will be added to the permanent marine biology collection at the Iziko Museums of South Africa. The museum said in a statement that the squid is being kept in a walk-in freezer facility during the COVID-19 shutdown until it can be relocated to a more permanent location. This most recent acquisition marks the 20th specimen of a giant squid in the museum's holdings. Think of Captain Nemo fighting off the tentacled creatures in Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, or old Norse tales of a kraken lurking in the ocean depths. Giant squids have earned a reputation in popular culture. However, huge squids, Architeuthis ducks, have been exceedingly difficult to find in the wild. The giant 8-armed animals primarily inhabit the deep ocean, thousands of feet below the surface, where they also hunt. Number 2. Ainsdale Anomaly Sea Creature. Locals in Britain are baffled after a 15-foot sea creature that has been compared to an alien and a washed-up mammoth showed up on a beach. The monster, known as the Ainsdale Anomaly, was discovered on the Merseyside beach in Liverpool on Wednesday. The animal has no distinguishable head, has flippers, is severely decomposed, and is covered in flies. Yet no one has been able to identify it. It's 15 feet long, has flippers, is furry, and appears to be carrying another species that may be connected by an umbilical cord. This suggests that it may have been giving birth. Strangely, there was no head that could be recognized. Perhaps it was hidden underneath. There were protrusions on the top side of it that I think were rib bones. It appeared to have a substantial spine, and the vertebrae appeared to be visible through the skin. A Natural England representative had been down to examine the remains, but was unable to move them on their own. People speculated that the creature was once a walrus, cow, horse, or donkey, among other weird ideas after seeing pictures of it online. Number 1. Black Sea Monster with Sharp Teeth. A surprised visitor who was taking a stroll on the beach in Newport Beach came upon the strange-looking 18-inch monster, which had teeth that were like shards of glass. The Pacific football fish, an anglerfish species, was already dead when it was found on May 7th. Nonetheless, despite emerging from the Pacific Ocean's depths, its body was remarkably intact and well-preserved. An employee from the local company Davies Locker Sport Fishing and Whale Watching called it an amazingly rare find. He remarked, "This is not anything we dragged into the boat today, but it is still an incredibly unusual catch-off of the neighborhood of Newport Beach." Although the cause of this fish washing up on the beach nearly intact is unknown, our Crystal Cove Conservancy partners indicated that it is unknown where the rare catch will end up. The Elysium, a fleshy long dorsal fin that extends in front of the mouth, features a phosphorescent bulb that can generate light to draw unwary food closer to it. The fish was seized by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife officers for scientific study, but they have not yet said whether it would be kept permanently in a museum or educational facility. These mysterious creatures washed on the beach have not only stirred our fascination but have also spurred further research and exploration. They've reminded us that our world is full of wonders yet to be discovered. These mysterious creatures washed up on the beach have not only stirred our fascination but have also spurred further research and exploration. They remind us that our world is full of wonders yet to be discovered. Drop your comments in the comments section below. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.